Good morning mga bike buddies. Kamusta na? Kamusta na? Yeah, so good morning. It's a great morning. It's an awesome sunny morning here in Katipunan Katipunan area. Okay, so today let's talk about headsets. A lot of people have been asking me questions about headset sizes, what type of headset to buy. And I'll be answering based on my experience. So my experience is, well, since I basically started back in the 90s, late 90s, 1996, when I started doing little jobs, mechanical jobs for my professors, just to earn a little extra. And then, I got to learn from that experience. So now, headsets. Let's talk about headsets. I have here a few headsets. I have a Dura Ace. I have this Shimano Diora LX headset. I have this Tange Seiki, like the Japanese say it. It's not Tange. Tange is American, but when the Japanese say it, it's Tange. So I have a Tange or Tange, and I have the generic ones like the Genea. And these are different sizes. But, so when we talk about headsets, what do we think? So there are a few things come to mind when we talk about headsets. One is the head tube size, which relates to the external cup size. So we'll talk about the parts later, the external cup size. The other one is the steerer tube outer diameter, which relates to the lock nut inner diameter naman. And then we have the insert size, which is yung buta sa gitna. This is the insert size, which relates to your stem insert, okay, or links to your stem insert. So let's talk about, wait, natanggal. Nilagyan ko kasi ng, wait. Anyway, okay, let's talk about the parts, no? Okay, so the parts of the headset, of course, you have your bearing inside, right? So this one is sealed bearing. So bearings could be a ball bearing or crown type, or have this one like a sealed bearing, where yung bearing enclosed na siya sa isang parang like that protective metal thingy, and then nasa loob na yung bearing, and then it's sealed. There are types naman that we call sealed mechanism. It's ball bearing, but you have like rubber grommets that seals the bearing para hindi agad pasukin ng putik or mud or dirt, whatever. And then you have your lock. So this is the external cup. So this goes under the head tube. This goes on top of the head tube. And then you have your lock bearing lock, whatever, right? Which locks the bearing in place. And then this is a threaded one, okay? Threaded one. There are threadless ones, but this one has a thread. Mainly classics, normally they are threaded. But if you have a threadless steer tube or fork, then you have to use the threadless one. So, paano ma-differentiate? Simple lang. Yung steerer tube mo, walang thread pag threadless, merong thread pag threaded. Okay? And then, you have the steerer tube outer diameter, which relates to the thread, kasi dun may suscrew yung this bearing lock, and then this lock nut. And then you have the insert size, which relates to your stem insert. So this is, dyan pumapasok yung stem insert mo. Okay, I hope that's malinaw. It's not really complicated when you get used to it. But for beginners, there are a lot of questions talaga na hindi ko po alam kung standard yung steerer tube ko, standard ba yung kailangan na head tube, oversized ba yung kailangan na head tube, oversized ba yung fork ko, and then head tube size different din. Okay, so let's talk about standard first. Okay, so this one is a standard headset. The external cup goes into your head tube. So kung ito yung head tube mo, yan, isa sa taas, isa sa baba, right? So isa dyan sa baba, isa dyan sa taas. So this is your head tube, right? Yeah. So for a standard size na head tube, normally for classic, it's 30 millimeter na outer diameter ng external cup, and then 30 millimeter yung inner diameter ng head tube. Okay? Then this thread naman, so kung ito yung, diba, ito yung head tube, papasok mo ngayon yung fork dito sa loob. The fork outer diameter, yung steerer tube outer diameter should be 25.4 millimeters, which is 1 inch. Kaya ang tawag sa standard ay 1 inch. Doon mo ngayon papasok tong bearing lock. So screw mo siya, and it will put in place yung bearing, right? And puts in place din yung steer tube, yung fork. Okay? And then you do your lock nut. Put your lock nut. Kung may spacer ka tulad nito, put the spacer like that, and then lock nut. Okay. Alright, so again, head tube inner diameter should be 30 millimeters. Fork steerer tube outer diameter should be 25.4 millimeters. Now the stem insert, which is this hole here, where you put your stem naman, it's called the stem insert, should be 22.2. So may index yan. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an index normally. So this one is 22.2, so which is standard. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now let me know, comment kayo kung about, now talking about, pardon the background pala, I have lots of parts there. Talking about naman oversized. Oversized is very tricky. Why? Because when you talk about classic bicycles, back in the 80s, there were lots of odd sizes. We call it odd sizes in terms of the head tube size ng frame. So meron kang head tube na regular 30 millimeters, right? That's your standard. Then you have your regular oversized, which is your 34 millimeter head tube inner diameter. So ang ginagamitan nito noon ay this one, this Dura Ace. Itong Dura Ace na to, hirap pa. Ayaw niya. Yun. Right. Na-lock ng husto. Alright. Okay. So this Dura Ace is your regular OS. Why is it your regular OS? The head tube size that will fit this external cup is 34 millimeter in diameter. For a head tube size na 34 millimeter. Okay, so that's your regular oversized. And then your fork will go inside. It will have a 28.6 millimeter na steerer tube fork ng outer diameter. So ito, bali itong inside nito is 28.6. Diyan papasok yung steerer tube fork. Okay? Which ngayon threaded, ito thread mo ngayon to. So this is 28.6 millimeters. And then, once na nandoon na yung steerer tube mo, the stem insert, this stem insert will be 25.4. Okay? So ang 1 inch mo sa oversized is yung stem outer diameter, which goes inside here. Okay? So kung may index din yan, ang insert is, kita yan. Ang insert is 25.4. Yan, or up to 25.6 minsan. Yan. So that's your oversized. Okay, again, standard external cup should be 30 millimeter. Steerer tube fork outer diameter should be 28.6. 25.4. Ulitin natin. Alright. Standard size. Standard is external cup should be 30 millimeter. Steerer tube fork should be 25.4, and then your insert size should be 22.2. Regular oversized will be external cup 34 millimeters. Stirrer tube fork outer diameter should be 28.6. Insert size should be 25.4. Okay, hope that's clear. Alright. So that's the difference between your standard and then your regular oversized. So now the tricky part. The usapan ngayon natin is yung odd sizing. Okay? As far as my experience goes, I only know of 2 odd sizes for oversized. Okay? Like this tange. Okay. This tange is not your regular 30 millimeters. Though ang insert size niya is standard, which is 22.2. The external cup size is 32 millimeter. Remember, your standard size is only 30 millimeter. This one is 32. Pag pinilit mo itong ipasok sa standard size na head tube, mabibiyak yung head tube. Because 2 millimeter, kahit nasabihin mong 2 millimeters lang yan, malaking difference yon, masikip siya, hindi siya papasok. Now, it's either masira mo yung head tube or masira mo yung external cup. Alright, so this is 32 millimeters and it will go 32 millimeter is an old BMX sizing which was adopted to adopted dun sa MTB. May mga RBs din na 32 millimeters ang gamit. But while 32 millimeter ang external cup niya, ang fork niya is pang standard. Okay, pang standard ang fork niya. Okay, which means it's 25.4 outer diameter na papasok dito. Alright? And then ang stem insert is 22.2. Minsan ang tawag nila dito is the converter headset. Okay? Marami namang converter headsets. Paglalaroan nyo lang yung numbers, merong oversized to standard, standard to oversized, meron din. But during those times, iba-iba kasi yung hindi so may nagtanong din sa akin, bakit kasi iba-iba pa yung mga head tube size? Well, that's part of marketing. No? For example, the brand like Cannondale, right? They use the bigger ones, yung pag-uusapan natin later, which is the 36.5 to 36.9, which relates to the 37 millimeter na head tube, no? So, yun, marketing, and then of course, if you have a very specific type of headset that you need to use, then it's either sa kanila ka kukuha kung nagma-manufacture sila or for certain brands lang. Right? Pag-usapan natin yan later. Again, but this one is this is an odd size oversized na 32 millimeter but standard 25.4 and standard 22.2 insert. Okay? Now, let's talk about we call it the super oversized. In the classic scene, in super oversized, that's the biggest. Brands that I've experienced na ginagamitan ng super oversized is like Yosemite, Japan, Cannondale USA, and Proflex USA. Those are the ones that I have encountered. Gary Fisher then they use the Super OS. So ano ngayon yung Super OS? The Super OS is super talaga siya kasi it's really big. The external cup is 37 millimeter. So normally it would range from 36.5 to 36.9. It will use the headset or headset external cup na 37 millimeter. Now the fork is also huge in diameter. The diameter of the fork where the thread will go into is 31.8 millimeter. Mataba siya. I have a fork dati na nandito lang sa sasakyan, but iniwan ko kasi siya sa house. But the 31.8 yung steerer tube outer diameter. Now the stem insert is huge as well. It's 28.6 millimeter. So yung isipin mo, naglalaro lang siya, di ba? 25.4, 28.6, 31.8. Those are the standards. But for a super OS na fork, a super oversized fork, the stem insert will be 28.6. So malaki siya. 28.6. Mataba na siya. Ganyan na siya kataba. So yung 28.6 ng insert ng super oversized, that's the stirrer tube outer diameter for a regular oversized. So, recap natin. Standard. Pag sinabing standard, cup size 30mm, fork size or stirrer tube fork size would be 25.4, stem insert size would be 22.2. Okay? Oversized. Ang oversized naman, cup size would be 34mm, stirrer tube fork size would be 28.6, stem insert size would be 25.4. The Tange odd size converter OS to standard, ang cup size would be 32mm, fork size would be 25.4, insert size would be standard 22.2mm. Now the super oversized naman, the super oversized huge, parang barko. Ewan ko narinig nyo, may truck. I think there's a sunog somewhere. Yeah, anyway, fire truck siya na, anyway, super ano pa rin siya, super oversized naman. Ang super oversized will have a cup size of 37mm for a stirrer tube fork size of 31.8 and an insert size of 28.6. So it's super oversized. Mataba talaga siya. You will realize na ang laki niya, ang taba niya. So sa 24 sa standard kasi and regular OS, ayan o. So isipin nyo yung super OS, taba talaga siya. Yung super OS ganyan siya kalaki. Taba siya. Brands that I know that had the super OS, ang sikat nun is the YST Revolution, YST Evolution rather. YST Evolution. Chris King, I've asked Chris King and they said they stopped manufacturing like late 90s na rin kasi wala nang gumagamit nun. Because ngayon the modern size is like 40mm and 40mm. Alam ko yun na yung sizes ng modern yun. So, that's it for today. I hope you learned something, and I will try to make as much as a lot of videos that help other builders out there for sizes. Siguro next time, I don't know, handlebars, stems naman, or BB. The other one kasi that I'm getting a lot of questions about is yung PB size, FB, and there are standards to it. Anong crankset ang gagamitin. But for now, headsets yung pinakamarami. So I hope I've answered the questions. See you around. See you, ride safe all the time. God bless.